What's going on, everyone? TJ Fitness Deal News Reviews, and together with me today, the much anticipated and definitely hyped Craze the OG by Driven Sports. Yeah, people, some of you that's been around the pre-workout supplement industry for more than 2-3 years, remember the original Craze that got banned after they found illegal drugs, and a lot of them inside it. But it was an amazing experience for the ones of you that actually tried it. Definitely hailed as one of the best ever as far as mood elevation, getting you in the zone. It was just great, but yeah, it did have illegal drugs. And now, with a lot of fanfare and a lot of drive on social media, they've been pushing this craze and naming it the OG, basically, alluding to the fact that this is going to be as good as the original one. Listen, people. I'm going to take you through the label of this thing. It's not going to take us a lot of time because this is a prop freaking blend. And then I'm going to take you through my experience using this one over the last week, so we'll understand if this is really the OG or this is totally fake news. Let's get right into it. Okay guys, so Driven Sports, as far as the company reputation, you know what? I'm gonna leave it to you to decide. The original Craze that came out, I think it was like 4 years ago or something like that, really was amazing. At the time, Jacked was, DMAA based Jacked and 1MR were all the rage, and they came out with the original Craze and just blew everybody out of the water because it was such an amazing experience. Just Google the Hodge twins doing the original Craze review. This was just a great experience. And then after a few months, really it didn't take a long time, after a few months, the FDA basically found out that they were putting illegal drugs, and quite a lot of them, from what I'm understanding, like really illegal drugs, amphetamines, like serious shit. And anyway, they stopped, and then they came out with another version, Craze 2, which totally sucked. And now after probably like a good 3-4 years, they came out with this, started pushing it on social media, calling it Craze the OG, which obviously, as you would think, is supposed to be as good as the OG. Anyway, because that's what we do here, I went online and I actually bought a tab, and I've tried it for over the last week. So I'm going to take you through the label here, because this is one of the craziest labels I've ever seen as far as the ingredient that's in there. So a lot of the times when we review pre-workouts here, even like super stim junkie pre-workouts, we see a lot of the same stuff, but different mixture. You see DMHA, you see caffeine, obviously, you see different types of caffeine, maybe you see arayogenesis, you see synephrine, you see norvaline, you see hordenine, you see whatever as far as the stimulant package and the general speaking, the label. This thing has like probably the most amount of stuff I actually needed to Google to understand what the hell is this stuff and what is it doing in this pre-workout. Let me start by saying this is theoretically 30 servings, so I'm going to talk about that in a second. Each serve is 4.6 grams. That's it. 4.5 grams, 4.6, yeah, 4.6 grams of a proprietary blend, totally proprietary blend. The only thing they actually outline here is DHEA at 10 milligrams. Now, for the ones of you who don't know, DHEA is a hormone basically that your body produces naturally. It's a precursor to testosterone. Anyway, I have no clue what it's doing here. 10 milligram is in any case a super underdosed amount, even if you're decided to take DHEA to increase testosterone. And generally speaking, if you go Google DHEA and you go Mayo Clinic, they suggest not to take DHEA. There's very little research around it, and it actually has potentially some significant side effects. I have no clue what it's doing on pre-workout anyway. But let's go into this freaking prop blend, which, when we see a prop blend, unless it's coming from like a super reputable company, then we assume it's pixie dusted shit. Anyway, as far as what's in it, let's start with what's not in it. There's zero pump elements, like there's nothing. And there's very little around endurance and muscle power. So like creatine, beta-alanine, or whatever. The only thing you have here as the first ingredient in this super prop blend is betaine. I don't know how much. Then you have glycine, which is the second amount here, so out of the 4.6. I mean, glycine is an amino acid. It's supposed to theoretically help with some stress relief and muscle protein synthesis. I mean, if it's the first time you hear about glycine in a pre-workout, there's a reason behind it. There's very little research that shows that it helps with performance. but it is the second ingredient here, so it means that between the betaine and the glycine, my assumption is that there's like 4 grams out of the 4.6 here. Anyway, betaine is okay, like muscle protein synthesis. You usually want to see at least like 2.5 to 3 grams of it, so I don't know what, anyway. Then the list starts with, except caffeine that's in here that I don't know how much. My assumption, by the way, is like 150 milligrams in one serve, and I'll tell you why in a second. But then you have a bunch of stuff, erythritolium, and you have prosorilia, and you have phenoldirum, and then you have grapefruit extract, which is actually naringin, which you've seen in a couple of other pre-workouts like Redcon 1 Total War, one of the newer versions. That's supposed to enhance the effect of caffeine, so that's actually okay. You have valcormarina. Anyway, listen, guys, I don't know how much, and this stuff is rarely used in pre-workouts, which is actually, I respect that. I mean, experimenting with how stuff can affect is actually good. I've actually Googled it, and I've done some research. Actually spent like a good hour trying to find any information on this stuff. So I can tell you some of this stuff, like the psorilia and the alcomeria or whatever, it's supposed to be, I mean, very little research on all of them. Very little research on all of them. What it's supposed to help you with, some of them is stress relief, some of them is with mood elevation, one of them, the last one, is an aphrodisiac. Anyway, it's a bunch of stuff. I mean, interesting. I have to tell you, interesting. I hate the fact it's a prop blend. I actually like the fact they're experimenting with a whole bunch of shit that we've never seen before. But obviously what's important is the effect. Anyway, so that's the label. Let's talk about this 4.6 grams prop blend and just generally. So basically in the instructions, when you look at the instruction, you're going to see that they say, hey, start with 1 scoop and then go for 2 scoops to get this full effect. So we already know that 1 scoop is going to do shit. And I'm going to talk about my experience. I actually tried it. It does do shit. And then 2 scoops, then you get 15 serves in this thing. So think about this. For you guys who are watching this channel, you know, subscribers to the channel, pre-workout fans all over the world, 15 servings. This is what it is, 15 servings. You're supposed to take 2 scoops of this thing, which would be about 10 grams of a serve with all of this prop blend that we don't know what it does. Anyway, the real question in your head is, does this remind us of the original Craze? Because this is really the premise here. I mean, this is Craze the OG, that's the statement, that's what they're trying to say. This is where this thing fits in. Anyway, let's start with the flavor. It's the least important thing. I just want to take it out of the way. It's berry lemonade flavor. It sucks. Honestly, it's just not good. I mean, it's not like terrible. It's not like the worst thing I've ever had, but it's definitely, it's like a 5 out of 10. It has a very strong chemical aftertaste, and it stays with you. I don't like the flavor. Like I said in a lot of my pre-workout reviews, as far as flavor for pre-workout, I just don't want it to suck. I don't want to be afraid of taking it. I train fasted most of the time, so the first thing I take in the morning is my pre-workout. I just hate it. It's just, I hate it when it's not good, because I'm dreading actually trying it. But anyway, let's put it out of the way, because if the flavor is like a 5, but the pre-workout is like the original Craze without the drugs, then all the power, right? Okay, let's talk about my experience. Listen, let's take 1 scoop out of the way. 1 scoop does shit. Like literally, I could go to sleep with 1 scoop. So this is like an amino energy with 1 scoop. It doesn't do anything. 2 scoops. So is this really as good as the original? Is this reminiscent of the original? Is this as good as like should you guys just go and get it because you want to relive the experience of the original? No, guys. This whole thing is totally freaking fake news. This is an okay pre-workout. On 2 scoops, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna get the energy kick. You're gonna be okay. This feels like C4 Extreme on 2 scoops, right? Like 2.5 scoops of C4, maybe 3 scoops of C4 or whatever. This feels nothing like. There's zero mood elevation. The original Craze, for the ones of you who tried, and I was fortunate enough to have 2 tubs of this thing, the original one. I mean, man, obviously it had drugs in it, but you were flying. The mood elevation was unbelievable. You were just going at it. It was amazing. It was, like the best pre-workouts that we have right now, like around the Ares feeling and Wild and, the original Mesomorph. It was a super, super good feeling. That's why there's so much buzz around this new launch. This thing on 2 scoops feels like an average pre-workout. It wouldn't make my top 50. And with the flavor sucking, I wouldn't even recommend this. if you find it for $20. Now, given the fact it's $40 for 15 servings of this shit, I mean, seriously, this is as much fake news as you can get. So, listen, Driven Sports, really sorry. I'm sorry the FDA banned the illegal drugs, but this thing, calling it the OG, is total bullshit. Total bullshit. So guys, if you were wondering, you know, you tried the original one, you were thinking about like, oh my god, I'm so missing that feeling, and you were gonna buy this thing, seriously, save your money, go buy some Ares, Wild, Hell Yeah, Defiant Unleashed, whatever, Pre-Stack, one of these good guys. This is total bullshit. I mean, this is totally fake news. It's an okay, mediocre, beginner-like pre-workout. 0 pumps, by the way. Obviously, you're not gonna get anything. The value for money on this shit, $15, 15 servings, $40, just sucks. And this has nothing to do with the OG. Listen, people. If this video was helpful in saving you money and in your pre-workout decision-making process, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel to see more reviews like this, because this is what we do here, people. This is exactly what we do here. And if you want to save money on good pre-workouts or anything fitness, you go to fitnessdealnews.com. We don't sell anything. We just compare prices from all over the web and we find the hottest deals so you can save money.